everyone. Welcome to our live Cuisine Corner Junior event. My name is Laura, and I will be your host today. Now, today's event is part of our Hispanic Heritage Celebration Month, and we have had so much fun learning about and celebrating all the different and unique and wonderful cultures with you. And although today is the last day of our Hispanic Heritage Celebration Month, I'd like to take a moment to let you know about a few activities and virtual events we have planned for you in the coming weeks. Our annual Trick or Treat Safe Zone event is coming to you bigger and better than ever this year, and we'll be hosting a week-long virtual celebration in partnership with the Orange County Regional History Center. Starting October 26th through the 31st, you can expect themed virtual events for your whole family. And while supplies last, be sure to visit your local branch for Halloween-themed crafts all month long. But of course, to join in on the fun, you'll need to do a few things. Make sure that you sign up for your library card online at ocls.info/getyourcard. Join Beanstack by creating an account at ocls.beanstack.org, and be sure to register to attend our virtual events. We have unique events for you every single week. Okay, I hope you are ready for a lot of fun today because we are talking tacos. I have a very special guest joining us, and you might recognize her from some of our other virtual events. I am so excited to welcome one of our own OCLS staff, Miss Noralise. Let's bring her in. Hi, Miss Noralise.
Hi, Laura. How are you?
I am wonderful because we are talking tacos today.
I'm excited.
So, we have tons and tons and tons and tons of books in our library, both about cooking, about baking, about Latin American culture. I was wondering if before we get started, do you have any recommendations for some great books for us?
I do, and I'm glad that you asked. I mean, even preparing for this program today, I had to look through our collection, and I did come across a really great collection. It's titled, the series is A Taste of Culture. And it's such a fun series because it really does take you around the world with cuisine. So I did pick a few just to share with you guys today. This one is Foods of Mexico. Now, this series is written by Barbara Sheen, and she really does a good job in immersing us in the culture and in the spices that they use and the way that they cook. I mean, we all have a different way of doing things in the kitchen, and it is so much fun to see them. So I did pull Foods of Mexico. I also had Foods of Cuba, which I love Cuban cuisine so much. I'm like, I have to look through this book to see what I find. I also had found Foods of Colombia, which we'll be talking about Colombia in a few minutes, and then Foods of Chile. Everyone had a different thing to offer, so I thought it was really, really cool.
And so we also have an amazing collection of digital books. Like we have ebooks, we have audiobooks. Do you have any recommendations for us for ebooks?
I do. So what makes this collection too, or this series, A Taste of Culture, unique is that they are available in ebooks. A few of them are, not all of them, but a few of them are, which, you know, if one of these books are checked out, like I have these checked out right now, well, you could always check out the ebook, so the electronic book, so you could actually access it on your computer, your iPad, your phone, things like that. And another really good book that I came across, and this one is only available on ebook format, is called Taco Night. And when I was reading this book and going through the pages, it really just invite you to gather your family and to gather your friends and just have a big taco party. So I just know that it is going to be a treat. So if you're interested in, having a nice little gathering with your family and want to have, tacos, or if you just want to eat all the tacos, that's okay too. You don't have to invite anybody into your party. You just have a taco night and have lots of fun with all of the stuff that it encourages you to put on the table. So that is Taco Night, and also this whole series, we have ebooks too.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing those recommendations for us. And all right, I'm ready. I've got my taco earrings on. I'm ready to learn about tacos. You're talking tacos, so I'm going to stop talking so that you can start cooking. All right? I'm going to head backstage.
Bye, Laura. See you later. I am so excited to be with you all today, and I hope you guys are ready to either learn a new recipe or join me in a recipe that you already know how to make. But before we do dive into how to make Pico de Gallo today, we are going to kind of go on a little journey and talk about tacos. I'm going to share just a few pictures with you and some information about tacos. And we're really going to look at tacos around the world today, okay? So you can see my slide here, and we're going to ask ourselves the question, where did tacos originate from? I mean, you're looking at a slide here that has beans, avocados. It looks like it has some potatoes, some cucumbers. It has some extra veggies in there, and we wonder, where did it originate from? I mean, where did it come from? So many probably would say that tacos originated from Mexico, and we're kind of thinking, yes, that is the right answer. But when kind of looking into this further, actually it isn't. And it's kind of very different in Mexico and how they make their tacos compared to how we make our tacos and what we would choose to buy. So a little fun fact here is that there are no hard shells in Mexico. That's not how they make their tacos. They actually make them with tostadas, and they make them with flautas. And so it's really, really, really different. So authentic tacos involve corn tortillas. And where on the other hand, we would use either a flour tortilla or something like that. So what I love about tacos is that everyone has their twist in how to make them. And yes, Mexico is one of the places that have a unique way in making tacos. But I want to introduce you to another place. So a taco is just really a shell and stuffed with protein and anything you want to put in them, right? So let's talk about these two places. Let's walk down the street, not too close, but let's go to Colombia and Venezuela. What I like about Colombia and Venezuela style is that they say that their taco, or they would call their taco an arepa, right? So they use white corn, and they will make kind of like a thick patty. And once you cook that, you're able to open it like you see here in the picture. And then you stuff it just like you would a taco with anything you want inside. So in this one, you see black beans, some cheese, and you see some protein, some meat in there. And so it's really, really cool to see how other places, other countries make their tacos. So I hope you guys are encouraged to do it. I hope you're motivated to find a new topping today. Maybe look at what Venezuela maybe has to offer. I did learn that they like to do arepas sometimes for breakfast, and they'll add scrambled eggs, some fancy scrambled eggs with tomatoes and onions and some really delicious toppings in that. So you could, I mean, I've never had a taco for breakfast, but I just might after this event. So you can have lots of fun with your tacos. So we talked about toppings, and tacos involve a lot of toppings, and some may say, no, I just like cheese and protein. And that's okay. That's the way that you like your tacos, but you can really put anything in your tacos, which was what makes tacos so much fun. So a few things that we probably see, we have our protein, our chicken, our carnitas, our steak or anything like that, our beans. We have our cheese, lettuce, pico de gallo, which today is what we're going to learn. Sometimes we want our tacos with a little spice, so we have jalapenos. We'll also put rice, avocado, beans. One of the toppings that I came across what that was unique to me is some people will actually put coleslaw in their taco, and I've only put coleslaw in like a pulled pork sandwich, but I think I might just try it in a taco. So be creative with your tacos. You can be creative and have fun with them for sure. So today we are going to learn, and if you already know, you'll will make with me pico de gallo. So for this recipe, you need 1 pound of tomatoes, so that's about 3 to 4 tomatoes, and this serves about 6 people. Okay, so if you don't have if you're not serving that many people, you could use less for sure. We need half a medium onion. We need a bunch of cilantro, which is kind of like a handful of it. We need garlic powder. We need lime juice, which we're going to use fresh lime today, but if you have it already juiced, that's great. We need salt and pepper. We'll be adding our salt and pepper for just to your taste, okay? Okay, so I'm excited to get started. We now know what we need. So what we're going to do now is we are going to show you. So I want to show you what all of these things look like. So what I have here on my counter is some pre-washed. I already washed my tomatoes. So I have some nice plump red tomatoes ready to go and ready to be chopped. I'm going to put my first one there on the cooking cam. So I have 3 of them here. I also have an onion. So we're going to use half of this onion. And then I also have 3 limes here. And we're probably only either going to use 1 lime, whole lime, or half a lime. It really just depends on how it looks. But it might just be half a lime, and then we can sprinkle it on our taco later, okay? So we have that. And then we'll be using powdered garlic today. So we'll be measuring it out today, and then using it and putting it on our Pico de Gallo. So I hope you guys are ready. I hope you have everything on hand, and we're gonna have lots of fun. I'm like, where's my star here? It's actually the cilantro. So we needed a bunch of cilantro. And when they say bunch, they do sell it like this in the supermarket. It kind of means that it's just like 1 handful of it, okay? So you need cilantro. So one thing that with cilantro, and you have to be really careful, is that cilantro is one of those herbs that can be really gritty, and it really does hold on to the dirt, right? So you want to make sure that your cilantro is very, very clean. And I did learn a little trick that you can do, which is what I did today. I had it already wrapped in my napkin here so that it would dry before this moment, but just put it in a bowl. And I have a bowl here, and you're going to fill your bowl with water. So to properly clean your cilantro, fill your bowl with water, and you're going to dip your cilantro in and out just like this. And you're going to notice the dirt kind of sit on the bottom of your bowl. You want to then throw out that water and then come back to your cilantro and do it again, just to make sure that your cilantro is nice and clean. You don't want gritty cilantro in your Pico de Gallo. So make sure it's nice and clean, okay? All right, so mine is already clean, and we're ready to go. So to get started, we are going to move over to our cooking cam, and you guys are going to watch me and join me, if you're doing it with me, cut a tomato, okay? So I'm going to set aside my cilantro and my other items here. So what I have here are 2 sharp knives. I'm only going to use 1, so I'm going to set this one aside over here. And I want to make sure that my knife is sharpened, okay? And you want to make sure that your tomato is nice and clean and you are ready to cut, okay? So we're going to cube up this tomato. Always have a nice bowl next to you so that you can put all of the ingredients in, okay? All right, so I'm going to take my knife, safety first. You all know the bottom is sharp. Don't put your fingers here. Always keep your fingers on top, and always hold your knife right here in the handle. So we're just going to go down and slice. And I learned a little trick. If you don't slice all the way, your tomato will stay together, right? So you see how it's not falling down. So just make sure your fingers are still holding, but you're not. And then sometimes it's just easier for me to, I know it's going to cover your view there, but it's easier for me to put my fingers like this just to make sure they're not in the way. So I'll take my knife and kind of go like this. Very good. And then I'm going to do one more slice down. And you'll notice that my tomato has not fallen to the side. So that's kind of what we want, okay? So we're going to turn over, and we're going to cut the tomato again. And we're going to have, again, we're not going to cut all the way so it doesn't fall down. But we're going to make sure that we keep them not too far apart. So this piece I went all the way down, so we'll move that over. Not too far apart so your cubes don't come out too big. You kind of want nice, even little cubes of tomato. Okay? And then when you are done, see how you have everything all together? When you are done, you can probably, flip it over and softly. This is where you kind of have to put a little bit of pressure, but you'll start to see some really nice cubes of tomato there. It kind of keeps it a little cleaner and all together. So just cut all the way through. Tomatoes are really important for your Pico de Gallo. I like to say they're as important as your cilantro. The cilantro is going to give it like that really, really nice kick of flavor. But these tomatoes, I mean, they're the base of your pico de gallo. So just make sure you have nice tomatoes. You can never go wrong with a lot of tomatoes. I'm going to put this piece aside there, and then you're just going to grab your bowl and carefully lift it and put it in your bowl there, okay? We are going to cut, so of course we're going to cut one more. So this one was just practice for you all and for me. Also, tomatoes can be wet. So as you can see, they leave behind a lot of juice. So have a napkin next to you or something that you can dry down if it gets kind of, I feel like if you have too much water, these can get kind of slippery. So just to be safe, okay? These can get a little slippery when you have a lot of, so let's do another one, a lot of liquid. Let's do another one. So again, we're gonna slice on the side and we're not going to hit the bottom so that it stays all together, okay? So slice, slice, slice. So all the way, this tomato is going to be delicious. It's so red and plump. And also when I purchase these at the supermarket, I like to make sure that my tomato isn't mushy. Just a little tip, because when you cut in tomatoes, you know that they could be mushy, or they could be mushy when you buy them. And then when you cut into it, well, you just have mush on your kitchen counter. So just make sure they're firm and not too. So I was like this, and we're going to turn over to cut on this side. Not all the way. Make sure you are always watching where you put your fingers. Always move back when you move your knife forward. Safety first, friends. Safety first. Very good. Of course, if you've never worked with a knife, then you want to make sure that if we have little ones here, this program is for our older kids, that you have your oops, this one's kind of breaking on me, so I kind of have to hold it. There we go. Okay. That you have a caregiver to help you if you're not comfortable. Never try just because you want to try working with a knife. Always have a caregiver to help you if you've never done it, okay? So I'm going to cut. You have perfect little squares. Oops, it wants to come apart of tomatoes. Just like this. Perfect little squares of tomato. So if you wanted to do another tomato, you can. It's about 3 to 4 tomatoes, but for this demo or this recipe today, we're just going to do 2 because my tomatoes were really big. Sometimes you'll have the little tomatoes, the cherry tomatoes. You could also use those, or just even the smaller tomatoes too. So I got pretty close. I did leave a lot of tomato on this one. So what I'm going to do is, this one's already cut, so I'm just going to make sure that I cut it all the way so I can use it. Okay, so I'm going to put this now in my bowl. Look how pretty this color is. I think this is what really adds a nice color to your pico de gallo. It's this color of tomato. It's just so pretty, red, bright. Oh, you could smell it, I'm sure, if you're following with me now. You could smell how delicious your tomato smells. Okay. So I have it all in my bowl, and they're all right here, my tomatoes, ready to go. And now we still have to, I'm picking up the juice. Oh, let's put that one in there. I'm picking up the juice, and I'm going to set this aside so that they're out of the way. And then now for the fun part. Now, I don't want you guys to go on crying, but we all know that onions tend to do that. I don't know what it is about onions that they make us cry, but we're going to cut these. We're going to cut half an onion, okay? So I have my onion. This is going to be the piece, the side that we're going to keep. This is the end of your onion right here, and this is the top of your onion. So you want to cut the top of your onion first. So let me grab a napkin here, and I'm going to wipe carefully, always from the top, my knife clean there. Okay, so then I'm going to take my onion, and I'm just going to cut it here, right there, and I'm going to put my knife down, put this aside so it doesn't get in my way, and then now you have one piece, and then I'm going to put it on the side that I just cut, and I'm going to cut right in the middle. So now you have half of your onion, okay? So you have half here. Now you want to take the outer layer of it. Sometimes I feel like the first layer of your onion, which is this one right here, is kind of dried out. So I just take that off along with the skin, and I'll just pull back. Put your finger in there and pull back. You see how I'm just pulling back? And I'm just gonna separate it from the tomato, okay? And then this part you will just put away or throw away. And then your second one, you can go ahead and peel it too, but you're not going to use this one, okay? This one you'll just put in a little Ziploc bag and you'll put it away for your next recipe, okay? So we're going to put this on the side too. I'm going to wipe my hands real quick because I have some onion juice on it. And then I'm also going to wipe down my board. Okay? All right, so now we are going to chop our onion. Now you want to make sure that you don't have big pieces of onion in your pico de gallo, because once you get a nice bite of that onion, it's not going to be very nice actually. You're not really going to enjoy that. So you want to make sure that your onions are really, really small. And for this one, I just take and I try to cut really thin pieces. And I lay them down just like that. And I cut through. Now there are so many ways to cut onions and all of these veggies. This is just one way that I do it in my kitchen. I do like to always stay safe with the knife, so I try not to get too close to the end as well. And, you know, kind of put that on the side. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one down because I know we have to cut that one. So then I would, after I've sliced them like this, I'm going to lay them down on their side, and I kind of have a little pile. Sometimes if I feel like my pile is going to topple over, you want to make sure that you actually, you could take some of them off, just because you don't want anything to slip off or anything, okay? So then after that, you're going to take a nice little slice, as thin as you can. And I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So this will be my piece of onion. And if you want to do it smaller, you can. But the closer that you get, the thinner you do this, the better it will be, okay? So just slice. Watch your fingers. Slice away. Very good. I'm going to do one more slice right there. And then I'm going to turn these over and just slice them really small, because I feel like if I kept, so always be smart with your cutting skills. If you would have kept cutting like that, you probably would have slipped. So you just want to make sure that you're just being safe with your cutting skills, okay? So that's my onion. I do have one more piece here, so I'm just gonna thinly slice. Watch your fingers, just like that. And this one had a longer piece. It never hurts to bring your knife over again to do it. Now, if you don't want to use an actual onion, you could use onion powder. I'm going to put these in my bowl here. You can use onion powder, anything like that. Or if you just don't want onions, you could just opt it out. You don't have to use it. That's totally okay. I do have one more piece here. Make sure you just don't overdo the onion. We all know that onion has a very strong flavor. So you just don't want to overdo it, okay? I'm just going to bring my hand over and just chop it up like this. Always a nice, safe way to do it. And I'm just going to put that in there. All right. Okay, I'm going to rinse out my knife, and I am going to, oops, I just put a big piece in my bowl, so I want to take that out. I'm going to rinse my hand as well. Okay, so hopefully you guys have some tomato and some onions in your bowl. If you want to start mixing that, you sure can. You just need a mixing spoon. Start to mix that together. If you find any big pieces, which probably, you might have, so like I found a few big pieces, I would probably take that out because that's something I don't want to bite into. So you could take them out and you could either chop them or just leave them out like that, okay? So now we are going to chop up some cilantro. So we have our bunch of cilantro. Cilantro smells so good. It is beautiful. We have some green leaves here. And what we're going to do with the cilantro is we do want the stems that are attached to the leaves here up on the top, the bush here, but we don't want these, okay? So we want to get rid of those before we start cutting. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to cut those off. And we are going to put them aside. Now, you can use these for a different recipe. So if you don't want to throw them out, you don't have to. But we won't be using them for this Pico de Gallo recipe, okay? I personally will keep them for another recipe. So now we're ready to cut our cilantro. It is long. So what we want to do is we want to fold it in half. So see, it's nice and long here. So we want to just fold it. And bring your fingers, like just try to roll it. This makes it easier. You have control of the cilantro. If you don't have control of the cilantro when you're ready to cut it, it's just gonna poof and go everywhere. So try to have control of your cilantro with one hand, and your other hand, you're going to just chop really close. And then, of course, the closer that you get, the more that you go back with your fingers. See that? Be very careful with those fingers. Okay, now I could do one more. And then I'm going to just keep it all together and on top, put my knife and bring my hand down and just chop it. So just like that. If anything kind of escapes you, of course, bring it back in. But always keep your fingers on top. Sometimes I will use the blade to kind of bring it over and on top like that. And cut it. You don't want large pieces of cilantro in there. You kind of want them to be small, definitely smaller than what they came in. So I have a few pieces that are big right here. So I'm going to make sure that I cut that, chop it up, clean my knife, bring it down, clean my knife carefully to bring it down, and then put it down up on top. Okay? And one more chop here and I think we're good. So we do like fresh cilantro on top of tacos. So I'm one that I do like cilantro on the top. So I'm probably just going to save a tiny bit, maybe just like a pinch of it on the corner here. And I'm going to put it in a little bowl just so I have fresh cilantro to put on top. So then I'm going to take my cilantro and I'm going to put it in my bowl. There we go. Very good. And then I'm going to have my little bowl here. And I'm going to add the pinch that I have for later. Okay, so we're almost done. We have 3 more ingredients, and these are all easy to put in. Okay. So I'm going to put my knife here. I no longer need my knife. We can move that over. And I will put this here on the side. And now I have my bowl of cilantro, onions, and tomato. Mix that up very well. And we can add everything else, okay? So just mix it up really nice. Look how pretty that looks already. So we are going to, actually, we will need our knife again. Let me just clean this up a little bit. We will need our knife again. We are going to be, I have another knife right here, cutting our lime. So our lime adds the nice juice to our Pico de Gallo. You want to make sure you clean your lime. And one thing that I learned to get the juice out of your lime when you're going to squeeze it is first add pressure. So just place it on your table or cutting board, and with the palm of your hand, roll it so that you can squeeze out before actually cutting it. Squeeze out some juice, okay? So just squeeze it. If you want to do it in your hands, you can. If you have juice, you can also do the juice instead of doing it like this, but we're going to do it like this today. So we're just going to cut that, and then we are going to squeeze that in when we're almost ready, okay? Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit of garlic. So I'm just gonna add half a tablespoon. So I have half a tablespoon here, and I'm just gonna take half a tablespoon. Let me bring my bowl over so you can see it. And I'm just gonna sprinkle it in. Now, the next two ingredients are going to be salt and pepper. Now, this is just up to you. You don't have to use salt and pepper if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you, so it is optional. So I'm gonna mix this up. So today we are going to add some salt. If you want to add some pepper, you can too. Let me grab salt here. I have Himalayan salt, or whatever salt you have at home, and this is to taste. We don't have a specific measurement for this, so I just kind of sprinkle it in and mix it up. Okay. Okay, while you guys are mixing your things, I did leave my black pepper in the pantry, so I'm gonna grab that real quick, but go ahead and mix in all of your spices really good. They are powder, so you just wanna make sure. And also squeeze in some lemon. So take your lemon half, put it in your palm like this, and then squeeze your fingers to add the lemon juice. And I'm gonna grab my pepper. 1 second. Okay, so I have just regular ground pepper here, and I'm just gonna add a little bit. Remember, this is up to you, just like that. Okay, I'm not adding too much to mine, and I'm gonna mix that up. And then if you haven't done it, you can do it with me. Let's add some lime. So squeeze your lime in. You can use 2 hands if you need it. Squeeze, and then I like to turn it around to make sure I get the juices of this side as well. So turn it around and squeeze. Now I have a lot of pico here, so this one's going to require probably the whole lime. So I'm going to mix this up with the juices of the tomato and lime. You're going to get a really nice juice consistency in it. So I'm going to take the other half. I'm going to squeeze in just like that. I'm going to turn it around and squeeze also this way. Very good. And then I'm going to mix. So I'm going to put these aside, and I'm going to mix. And there you have it, friends. You all just made pico de gallo with me, and it is going to be delicious. So of course, we're talking about tacos. And we're not just making this here. We want to make some tacos. So we invite you to gather your favorite topping. So I'll leave this here actually. Or your favorite protein. And we're going to put it into a taco shell and then see how we're going to taste our pico de gallo. See how it tastes. So we could use, we're going to do chicken today. I'm going to show you with chicken. So you could do canned chicken. You can do, if you just want to cook some chicken on the stove, you can do that too. For canned chicken, we just, open the can, add your flavors to it. I know it's already pre-cooked, but I like to actually add my own seasoning to the canned chicken. So I will do that too and then have it. So let me show you my toppings, and we are going to assemble now the taco. We're going to stay here in the cooking can, and I'm just going to show you what I have. So I have here my cheese, which I will add. I have here the lettuce, shredded lettuce, and I also have some chicken, right? So my chicken was seasoned with a little bit of salt and pepper and chicken powder to add more flavor to it. And then obviously it's already been shredded. So that's what we're going to put inside of our taco. Okay, so I'm going to bring over a plate where I'm going to place my taco. And I want to show you here real quick, because we talked about how everyone has a different way of making their tacos in their outer shell. So here we have a flour shell. It is very, very big. It's larger than our regular corn tortilla here. And then we have a crunchy taco here, okay? So we do have options. If we were making some arepas, then we'd probably use something that looks like this. And we would mix it with some water and make some arepas with it. So this is really, really, really delicious too. But I think I want to make today my taco out of a flour tortilla. So I'm going to use my flour tortilla here. Or actually, I'm going to switch it up. I always eat a flour tortilla. I'm going to do the corn tortilla. So I'm going to do my corn tortilla. I like to add my protein first. That's another thing that we can kind of talk about is how people like to assemble their tacos. So I'm just going to add a little bit of chicken there. Okay. And then I'm going to add some lettuce. And then I'm going to add some cheese. I like my pico on the top, but some may like it on the bottom because there's so many, not on the bottom, but maybe under the cheese or lettuce because there's so many pieces to the pico, you know, it kind of holds it all together. So I have my cheese, and then I have the star of the show today. I have some pico. Look how pretty that looks and delicious. I'm gonna add some more tomato in there. There we go. And you have your chicken taco with all the layers that we liked to have today. I'm gonna put this down. Now, some would like to actually take another lime, which is entirely up to you, cut it into wedges and then sprinkle some more lime juice on that. So you could do that if you'd like, but I like my taco just like this. And I'm really excited to show my friend Laura this beautiful taco. So we're gonna invite her back in so we can chit chat.
Oh my goodness. It looks amazing. Just all the fresh colors of it, of the bright red and the bright green. It looks fantastic. And so because I don't have a beautiful fresh taco with me today, I need to live vicariously through you and ask you to taste this taco and tell us all what it tastes like. We need to know all the flavors you're getting.
Okay, let's see. So we're gonna fold the taco traditionally, you know, it's how we do. Absolutely. And then we're gonna bite in.
There are no words, just
So good. So good.
Oh.
I think we put just the right amount of lime in that Pico de Gallo because it has the tart of the lime. Oh, you can taste the really, really plump and, you know, really good tomatoes. Oh, I just bit a cilantro, which is also really good. So good. Delicious. I wish you were here to have some with me. I
wish I was there too. I feel like I am there though with this this taste test journey that you're taking us all on.
I'm glad. It's really good. Maybe next time you can make it.
I think I'm going to be making some sort of tacos for dinner tonight. I'm not sure. I have some ground pork. I think I'm going to make some tacos tonight.
Delicious. Yes, so good. So good.
So we did have some questions come in as we were going through your show. But before we get to those questions, I have a question for you. Now, today our event is part of our Cuisine Corner Junior series. Could you tell us, for those of us at home who may not be familiar with that series, could you tell us a little bit more about Cuisine Corner Junior and how it started and what's it all about?
Yes, absolutely. Cuisine Corner Junior is near and dear to my heart. We started it 2 or 3 years ago, and we invite kids from the community to sign up with the library. It's completely free with your library card, and we teach you either a recipe or we let you make it. We try to do things where we don't have to really use in person. We don't have to use an oven or a stove or something like that. So you guys make the recipe. And you take home a recipe so you can share it with your family and make it again. And so we try to have it at least one unique Cuisine Corner Junior event once a month, if not more. So you can check out our listing of programs on our website and sign up for another one. They're super fun. You always come out with new ideas. We love that we get to share new recipes even together because, yes, we do have a star of the show, but we end up talking about, oh, I like it like this, or my family does it like this, or actually we do this instead. And so it's really fun. So Cuisine Corner Junior is something that we host every month, and we invite everyone to join us. It's a really fun experience.
Yes, I love this series so much. Myself, I've done turkey cupcakes for in November for around Thanksgiving. We've made cupcakes, turkeys, and I've also done wacky waffles, which was a big hit. We make waffles and then we put toppings all over them. It's a super, super cool series. If you aren't familiar with Cuisine Corner Junior, I highly, highly recommend that you check that out at ocls.info/Cuisine Corner Junior and sign up for some classes.
Yes.
All right. So to our friends at home, now you have the opportunity to ask Miss Norley some questions. If you want to ask her questions about what she made today or about Pico de Gallo, put them in the chat for us, and we're going to take a few minutes, and Miss Norley is going to answer your questions. So I'm going to go back. We did have a few come through from the very, very beginning. So one question was, can you use lime juice? So I'm thinking this means, you know, how sometimes that lemon juice or lime juice comes in a bottle. Can you use something like that in your taco?
Absolutely. Actually, I'll even show you real quick. Let me show you what I have here. So I have like a little bottle of lime juice here that I've actually used. If I don't have fresh lime, I will just put a little bit of this in my taco, and it makes it really easy. You don't have to have, you know, the fresh lime, but yes, absolutely, you can use lime juice on your tacos.
Perfect. Okay, what was our next question? Do you always recommend using 3 tomatoes? Say you're like a super fan of tomatoes. Can you put more tomatoes, or maybe tomatoes aren't your jam? Maybe you want to put fewer tomatoes. Can you do that in this recipe?
You can. I mean, 3 to 4 tomatoes serves like a family of 6. But the good thing about Pico de Gallo is that you can make 3 to 4 tomatoes. It is the base of Pico de Gallo. The cilantro kind of adds the flavor, and the other things that we put in it add different flavors and elements to it. But you can store Pico de Gallo in your refrigerator for a few days. So if you know, you're like, I want Pico de Gallo, but I don't want to make all of this, you could store it. You can make it, and then you could use it for another recipe. But if you don't, I've done Pico de Gallo with just 1 tomato, and that's because I'm just, you know, feeding myself, my husband, and my daughter. And so we don't need that much Pico de Gallo, but I've done it with just 1 large, this size tomato. And then I will just put, you know, probably half, if not less, than half of the cilantro and the onion and everything else that we put into it. So you just want to balance out the flavors of everything that you're putting into your Pico de Gallo. But yes, you don't have to use 3 to 4.
Okay. So this is a great question, because I love that technique that you showed us of cutting the tomato and slicing it so that you're not going all the way through, and then making sure so you can make those perfect little cubes. So our question coming through is, for when you're chopping those tomatoes and onions, you had mentioned something about you start from the top. So do you always cut them from the top when you're chopping those up?
I do. Yes. I always start from the top and I go down. Is that what they're picturing, kind of down and then don't go all the way through? Is that the question?
I'm thinking that's what they mean. Yeah. So you start from the top and you slice it maybe till you leave, you know, like a few centimeters, maybe like a centimeter from the bottom.
Yes. Yeah. So I always start from the top. It makes it a lot easier. Another way of doing it is, if you didn't want to do it that way, you could slice all the way down like we did for the onion. And you'll have like nice little rounds of tomato, and then you can kind of slice through it. I have found that sometimes if your knife isn't sharpened enough and it's kind of dull, it'll be hard to get through the skin of a tomato. But if you don't have, you know, a sharpener, you know, to kind of make your knife sharper, you can just slice it all the way through, and it's a lot easier to cut a tomato from the inside than it is on the outer shell. Or its skin. So yes, I always like to do it from the top, but my knives aren't always sharpened. It was sharpened for today, but it won't always cut through nicely. And if you don't have a nice sharp knife, they'll just, like I mentioned, they'll mush. The tomato will just like mush up, and it'll make it a lot harder. So you do want nice squares for that.
Yeah, I actually learned in a cooking class that I took once that you think that a sharp knife will be a lot more dangerous, but it's actually when your knife is dull, that's when the most knife accidents occur. So you want to make sure that your knife is nice and sharp when you're using it, but also, of course, like Ms. Norley said, make sure that you're doing that with a caregiver, and make sure that you're doing that really safely. Okay, let's see. So our next question, I like this one too, because I had to do a little research to find out what this meant, and I learned something new today, which I always love doing. And the question is asking if Pico de Gallo has ají, which I learned is a chili pepper.
Yes, it is a chili pepper. And this specific one does not, because I can't do spicy. I struggle eating it. But if you want your pico de gallo with that extra hint, extra spice in it, hotter, then people would put a chili pepper, just an ají in it. And sometimes I'm not too familiar with the actual pepper if you have to kind of take out the seeds, but some people will do like a jalapeno, which we've mentioned before, and they'll leave the seeds that are in there to make it hotter, or they'll actually take it out just to add like, a little bit of spice. But yes, people do use it. I call them brave and my heroes, because that's just something that I'm not brave enough to kind of go and attack, but yes.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. All right. I don't see any more questions coming in, but I had one more question. I started thinking this as you were making it. So today we're talking all about savory tacos. Have you ever made a dessert taco before?
No, I have not. I've had, I think what's called a Choco Loco or something. It's an ice cream taco. It's been a while.
Choco taco.
Choco taco. Yeah. I totally said that wrong. And that sounds delicious, but I have not had a savory one. Have you? Or a sweet one?
I was starting to dream up tacos in my mind as you were making them. And I was thinking, when you talked about the flour tortilla, I was like, ooh, if you put a little bit of like cinnamon sugar on that would make a really awesome crust for like put ice cream inside. I just love ice cream, so I'm going to find it ice cream.
I mean, that's actually really good, because if you're having a taco night, taco for dinner, taco for lunch, and then you kind of want something sweet after dinner, you could use the flour tortillas and do what you said. Just add some butter and some cinnamon sugar, and then add toppings. Oh, that sounds amazing.
I mean, if you're going to have tacos, go all the way and just have breakfast tacos, lunch tacos, dinner tacos, dessert tacos.
That's
all day
it.
long.
Tacos all day, every day. Yes.
All right. So I don't think we have any more questions coming in. I'm assuming because everybody's eating tacos right now and they're enjoying themselves so much that they're just like, I can't think of a single question because it's just tacos all the time.
Yes.
But we would like to thank you so much, Ms. Norlees, for teaching us about all the different tacos of all the different cultures in Latin America and teaching us how to make that amazing, amazing pico de gallo. Thank you so much for being here today.
You are so welcome. Thank you guys so much for having me. And to all those enjoying your tacos out there, buen provecho. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.
All right, and I want to thank all of you at home so much for joining us today. If you'd like to find any of our Cuisine Corner Junior classes, please visit our website at www.ocls.info/Cuisine Corner Junior. We have lots of great classes. And go to our website to find more virtual events that you can attend at ocls.info. Please don't forget to sign up for our Trick or Treat Safe Zone virtual events. Those are starting on October 26th. And you can find more information about our Trick or Treat Safe Zone at ocls.info/trickortreat. And make sure that you keep tracking your reading and activities in Beanstack. We always have fun activities, book recommendations, challenges for you to participate in for your specific age group. You can sign up for your account at ocls.beanstack.org. And finally, we'd love to have your feedback about our virtual event today. Please complete our survey in either English or Spanish at your convenience. Thank you so much again for joining us today. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to be the first to find out when we have new fun and informative videos for you. Orange County Library System is your place to learn, grow, connect.